Social work, settings, services, and processes. Social work is practiced either in primary or secondary setting. Primary settings are agencies whose programs and services a direct purview of social work. Secondary settings, agencies, institution, or organization whose primary function is not to provide social welfare but employ social workers to support their services. There are different settings where a social worker can work at. Government. The government setting offers the widest space for a variety of social work services. The range of government settings in which social worker practice include agencies serving children and families such as foster care and agencies, healthcare settings including community-based clinics and hospitals, schools, federal, state, or local correctional facilities, settings that serve older adults such as nursing homes, and agencies service military veterans and active duty military personnel. Private sector. In the private sector, particularly corporate setting, occupational social work is practiced. It has 5 structures within which it generates intervention like employee assistance program, labor union social services, human resource management offices, community relations offices, and organizational development initiatives. Third, civil society. Social workers in the civil society tend to work for advocacies of human rights and social justice. Their work ensures the delivery to concerned sectors of universal basic needs that may range from physical need, intellectual development, emotional development, and social growth, as well as spiritual growth. School setting. For school setting, social workers can facilitate school entry into community, understanding the community, engagement with community, selecting and implementing correctly social development intervention, and exit strategically. A school social worker is a liaison between the school and students' families, sustainer of effective communication among parents, teachers, and students, and essentially reaching the children's personal lives and education to ensure that students' needs are being met. Community. A community consists and represents all kinds of social work services. It is the locus of social work challenges. It is in the community where human rights of individuals and groups are denied or violated. It is in the community where injustices are made and committed. It is in the community where marginalization for individuals and groups occur. Racism, sexism, homophobia, classism, ableism, anti-Semitism, ageism, and Islamophobia exist in the community caused generally by the presence of mainstream of dominant or a dominant group who tend to enjoy certain privileges which are built in their lives. The community setting orients social work to a generalist framework that divides work into micro-practice and macro-practice. Like any other helping profession, social work follows a helping process when working with specific clients. The process has been actually summarized into 5 basic steps, namely assessment, planning, intervention or also called plan implementation, evaluation, and termination. Assessment. This involves the collection of necessary information, analysis, and interpretation to reach an understanding of the client or the problem and the social context in which it exists. The social worker tasks include information gathering and problem definition based on what the client or the worker agreed upon. There are different ways that data will be gathered. It could either be through a primary source, secondary source, existing data, or workers' observation. The initial contact as well between the client and the social worker comes in three different ways. Walk-in. The client initiates the contact and seeks the assistance of the agency social worker. Referral. The client is referred to the social worker or a social welfare agency by an interested or concerned party or entity. And lastly, outreach. The agency, through its social worker, reaches out to the prospective clients to offer help and eventually arrives at an agreement of engaging into a helping relationship after intake. Next step, planning. This is the link between assessment and the intervention, and its process translates the content of assessment into a goal statement that describes the desired results, is concerned with identifying the means to reach the goals. It involves two major tasks: formulating the goal that directly relate with the client's problem, and also defining the specific actions or intervention that are necessary in order to achieve the goals. Intervention or plan implementation. This is concerned with the action that would solve the client's problem. It involves rendering of all the specific and interrelated services that are deemed appropriate to address or respond to the client's problem. Evaluation. It is the collection of data about the outcome of the program of an action relative to goals and objectives set in advance of the implementation of the program. Evaluation in social work can be done in two levels. First, on the level of direct practice with client. Second, on the level of program implementation. Last step, termination. There were two terms used in relation to the termination in social work: transfer and referral. Transfer is a process by which a client is referred by his or her social worker to another worker in the same agency because the former will no longer be able to continue working with the client, or the client or he or she thinks that another worker is in a better position to work with his or her client. Second, referral. Referral is the act of directing a client to another worker or agency because the service that the client needs is beyond the present agency worker's competence, or the client needs additional services which the current agency cannot provide. Listed are the reasons why we need to terminate the client-worker relationship.